Hey guys, I'm just sharing out, so give me just a couple of seconds here. Okie dokie. Oh, this is taking forever, you guys. Sorry about that. Tonight is the new moon. That is really, really, really good for manifesting. Hey, Wendy. She'll be on in a second. I was like getting worn out on that live, so I had to ground out for a second. All right. So tonight is the new moon. It is in Pisces, and it is also the time to start new projects, turn over a new leaf, kind of like New Year's type of thing. So if you guys do manifestation rituals, tonight would be the night to do them. He was on the other night. No, you were working though, weren't you? That's right. Okay, I have got everybody shared out. So let me see. February 2023. Okay. Okay, so it's in spicy. It's Spices. Yeah, the new moon is in Spices. Minor stories. Saturn's position is just over 3 degrees, has stronger influence over the new moon than any other planet. So we got freaking Saturn that's. Hey, Desert Wolf. Thank you. So Saturn, Venus, and Pluto are all in alignment with the new moon, and they're calling it the Eye. It provides a jolting surge of energy and intuitive, which is very invigorating. It helps maintain healthy emotional balances to make it so you're not either irrational or too overly analytical. Oh, thank you, Desert Wolf. You're awesome. So the other thing is this I, per se, his primary responsibility is to take in new data and process it in order to make decisions. If you're not using your intuition, this is not going to be a good full moon or new moon for you. It's going to lead to disappointment, poor judgment, or being naive. So really start to listen to your intuition. When the new moon is in conjunction with Saturn, it can bring about challenges, feelings of insecurity, and loss. But Venus and Pluto are forming a harmonious connection, so it's not quite doing it all the way that way right now. But you do have significant achievements are possible if they're built on a strong base. So if this is something you want and going towards, it will more than likely, if you really work at it, it will come about. Streamlining your life and getting rid of things that are no longer serving you will make it simpler and less difficult for you to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. But why are you down for, Wendy? Should we do some cards on you real quick while we're waiting? Let's see, why is Wendy down? Let's see why you're down a little bit. Okay, let's see what's going on with you, hon.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Wendy. So how was your live with Thomas? I saw part of it with Michelle. I didn't understand that because I came in the middle of it.
She was doing the past life. With
Oh, shoot.
Michelle Clausen.
Hey, sweetheart. Yeah, what? I mean, did she go in a trance?
She was just doing it, or he was doing something with her past life. I think with a cord.
Ah. Hello, my Wendy.
Okay, Wendy, so I know this is dingy. Try not to process everything all at once. And guess what I got for you? I got your kissy card.
Oh, awesome.
You got your kissy card. But you need to find balance, hon. So I get justice for you. And so when this is a major arcana like this, it's the universe saying the balance is going to be coming in. So just be patient. You need to be patient with yourself, is what it feels like. Did you try that video thing I sent you? Seriously, that will help a ton.
Did you want me to read for Wendy?
If you want to, she was just feeling sad today, so I was just...
Oh. I can read for our beautiful Wendy. So yeah, the first thing I pulled is that you need to really start working on your self-love again because you're starting to lose yourself a little bit. You've done a fabulous job up to this point, but you're slipping back a little bit. You got a lot of stuff on your mind that you want to do, but you're just not really doing it. You're sort of putting it off and you'd rather take a nap or you're kind of blah. You have some challenges going on at work, but you're handling them perfectly. You're starting to get some clarity. You're getting some clarity, and it's kind of confusing you a little bit on which direction to go. But if you just go with the flow, it's going to fall right into place, and you'll know exactly where you're at. There's so much coming your way. There's like so much coming your way that it's going to be like, whoa. So you're getting prepared for this, whether you realize it or not. And if things seem a little off kilter, it's because there's an abundance of shit coming your way, girl. It's just coming your way. It's gonna be like, oh wow, where did this come from? And you're gonna find the truth in everything that you're asking and everything you want in life. And it's all gonna come together. You're rocking this, Wendy. You're absolutely rocking it. Just hold on to your seat, girl.
Okay, so with that video I sent you, he only does one. Okay, sometimes there can be more than one. So you've got to ask if there's more than one and how many there are. You've got to go through and make sure all of those on the list, that sometimes there can be like just about all of them for a particular situation. It's not just one. Very rarely is it just one. Normally it's 3 or 4. Okay, so when you do it, make sure that you go in and ask if there's any more. When it gets to the one that you think it is, that it has you do that swipe, and then ask if there's another one until there's no more left. Okay, so it's just not only one. So that's why you probably start feeling a little bit better, but not much, because there's probably more to it than that.
I just shared us out, Cam. I had my eyes dilated, so I'm still seeing things crazy.
I think there's. Wendy, what kind of phone do you have? Do you have an Android phone? Okay, go into Google Play Store and look under emotion code, and it's a little spirally thing. And it has that chart on there so you don't have to continually watch that video. And then it tells you what the emotions are.
So have you ever had your eyes dilated?
Once, years and years and years ago.
How long did it take you to see again? Everything's still blurry.
Like 20 years ago.
So.
Yeah, that was forever ago. I don't even remember. That's when I very first got glasses.
Yes, I did, Michelle. 2 of them. 2 different kinds.
Oh, that's right. Michelle used to do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was not fun, let me tell you. It's going on about 4 hours now. Yeah. But then I got the sexy paper sunglasses. Woohoo! They were just groovy. I couldn't see very well. I said I should go see if I can find a date because I wouldn't know what he looked like. Yeah, I think I got him. Hang on a second. I think I still have him laying here. Here they are. They're so beautiful. They like rock. Look at these. Are they not like spectacular? Look at these. Do these say I'm sexy and I know it? Clap my hands or what?
They do.
Nothing like driving down the highway with these bad boys on. 99 cents and you can still not see.
Handy dandy.
No, I think I will. They're pretty awesome. It's a good idea. Put it in a little envelope and just be ready to rock and roll, Yvonne. Aren't they fabulous, darling? Ooh. They just rock.
Fabuloso.
Fabulous. Just fab. Just fab.
So Michelle, did your reading make sense? I was kind of trying not to spill the beans on a lot of it. So as long as you kind of understood it.
Hey, Amy.
All right. Perfect. I was worried. Yeah, as soon as he started talking about it, I'm like, I know, me.
I like Michelle's picture and how it pulsates when she talks. It's pretty awesome. Pretty dope, man. All right, we have 7 peeps on and everybody's being quiet. What's up with that? Let's get this party moving, peeps. You are pretty dope, man, Amy, I have to say.
It's Carol Ann, not Carrie Ann.
Hello, Linda. So, I was given some interesting news today.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I was told they refused to test for the mold in my apartment because they know there is mold everywhere and it's going to pop positive. Therefore, they are going to do nothing about it in my apartment.
I didn't call you out yesterday. Sheesh.
So what do you think about that?
I think you need to take it to housing authorities because that is a violation.
I am going to talk to my caseworker. Well, yeah, and they say unless there's moisture, Michelle, there's no mold. And I said there's dormant mold that is the spores are being pulled up into the ventilation system and being shot out of there because when the heat or the air comes on, it gets worse. And my dog is coughing. I'm coughing, all plugged up. They're just not getting it. So I'm getting really, really frustrated with it. And the health department says they can't do anything about it. They don't get involved because it's a landlord-tenant dispute, which is a bunch of hogwash. So the county's not going to do anything about it, but I'm going to call the state and see what they'll do. They're just irritating me. Yeah, the state's a little more lenient. Oh, we'll see what happens. Thank you. It'll get handled one way or another. I may just have to move. Give up shit. They own probably 75% of the rentals in the county I live in, believe it or not. But the sad thing about it is, since I moved here a year and a couple months ago, we've had 6 people die. I'm really, yeah, I have 2 friends that I can call that are news anchors, so I'm thinking about it. Amy would donate, but it's the holidays. She didn't get paid. Do we want to help her out because she's a frequent flyer?
Yeah, we can. Just a second.
You're a frequent flyer, Amy, so we're going to hook you up, girlfriend.
What's your question?
His past life readings are brilliant.
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 And because of Michelle, now I'm not even getting past lives on Earth anymore.
That's because she's out of this world.
That is not fun. Because I have no idea where I'm even at or trying. It's like you're lost. I don't know.
She says she'll be back in 5. I'm chiming all over. It's so quiet again tonight.
Oh, Michelle, I forgot to tell you, I figured out how to do BC on the astrology charts, so I can go BC now. Remember how I didn't know if I could do it BC?
Didn't you
But now I can start doing stuff in BC.
Didn't you accidentally do that with mine?
No, yours was still 80.
Oh.
This is like, I didn't know you could do BC. I didn't know how to put it in for BC.
Can't remember. You need another bake off. You're too funny, Wendy. Where is everyone?
No, I had to. There
Hey,
she
Amy.
is.
Nobody.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Holy shit. They come in threes, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm. So, Amy, what kind of reading did you want, or what question?
Question?
Question.
I hate getting IVs. They always get it in the freaking back of my hand, and I freaking hate it. Okay. Amy, Journey. Of course. Why not? Why not?
What?
She always does. Every time I read for her, it's the first or second card. Every time.
What
It's
is?
Grandpa. King of Cups.
Oh, yeah,
Every time.
Grandpa's always there. Grandpa's always there. Grandpa likes kicking it. Hey, hey, hey.
Ask and ye shall receive, Wendy.
Yep, speak of the devil and she shall appear. That is awesome that you didn't. The D word is taboo for you.
Because he's a major influence in your life. That's why he always comes in the first and second, because he's pushing his way to the big top of the list. He always does. However, you're torquing him off when you start being too hard on yourself. He gets grumpy. Especially when it has to do with love. I don't know why. He just gets grumpy. Hold on, pull out other cards. Because he is an asshole. And Heidi, I felt a divine intervention to kick your ass off my live. So here's the thing, and I know you're not doing this on purpose and stuff like that. I know you're working. No, somebody, that wasn't for you, Amy. That was, I had somebody come on that, a spammer. I usually tell them off. So that wasn't you. So here's what I'm getting. How do I put this tactfully? Trying to word this. Put it straight. All right. So, in a nutshell, because you want it straight like that, quit worrying about who likes you and who doesn't like you, who judges you and who doesn't judge you. There's only two people in the entire cosmos that you have to impress. That's yourself and the creator. Anybody else can piss off, pretty much. Because you spend a lot of time feeling bad for what, because you felt like you weren't enough for other people. And the thing is, they weren't enough for you. You're putting it all on the weird spin, like it's your fault. Like you take the brunt of it. I have nothing to do with you. And there's still some of that, not even just relationships, but everything. This whole spiritual journey that you started anyway is like, remember when we very first started talking and I told you that this path you were going to be going down, you wouldn't recognize the path that you had been on. So it's like it's almost like you're reincarnated, kind of. It's like that was an old life that doesn't even exist anymore. None of that stuff even works anymore. So you've got to put yourself into that whole present moment thing. And you're working with the emotion code and stuff like that to get rid of all the past stuff. And the other thing is, too, Amy, you have no structure. Even if it's negative structure, some people don't care. Structure is structure. It's something that you can rely on. You're flying blind here, so you need to start creating your own structure in a new way. And that takes a little bit of getting used to, because you're having to change belief systems, you're having to change boundaries, you're having to change viewpoints, perceptions, everything. So, I mean, you're doing really well. That's the thing, but you let this other stuff sneak in, and then it makes you question yourself again. So don't do that. You're on the path you're supposed to be on. There's no way you can go back. So, I mean, even if you really wanted to, there's no real way for you to go back. Not after what you know now. That's the thing. Your perceptions have changed. So, have yourself a funeral for your past life and move on with yours. Seriously, have a funeral for yourself. That life is dead. It's done. It's over with. Goodbye. Now you're on your new path. Once you start doing that, you're going to really start to feel a lot more healing come in. You're already doing. You kicked ass on the mediumship. You've never done that before and you got it that far. I mean, I haven't really met anybody that's done it that quick like that, having never done anything like that before. You've got the gift. Your gifts are going to start to come in, but you've got to be patient with how your gifts come in. You've got to practice, just like with the tarot cards and stuff like that. It took me to get to where I read like I read now. Probably took me a good 5 or 6 years. I mean, I was doing them before that, but it was just strictly off the book. I didn't have my own meanings. I didn't have my own combination cards and all of that stuff. And I had to do that like every night. I was doing that every night. So you got to be patient with your gifts and you got to practice with them, okay? You're on the right path, though. You just got to you got to have a funeral. Just saying.
Amy, my love, you know, you are such a service to everyone with everything you do. And you put so much care into everyone. And you're finally starting to put that care into you and your body. I know it's the end of this relationship with Derek, the D word, I'm going to say, the D word. And there was a lot of mistakes made there. But you're discovering your true love. And that's Amy. And the thing is, sweetheart, you got to stop aiming for perfection, because we're not perfect in any way, shape, or form. And you have the ambition to do what you want to do. And to let your gifts open up and everything else. And you're being guided in the correct direction. As you keep doing this and you get over your challenges and everything, you're going to gain your independence back. You're going to get your self-sufficiency back. Everything's going to come back to you with such clarity. You're going to be like, what was that? A dream? Did that really happen? Nah. That's just something that I dreamt to help me get to where I am. And you're going to find that contentment within yourself. And everything else is just going to mesh together. And it's going to be perfect. You've made so much strides, sweetheart. So many. And you're doing so well. Just keep pushing, but not too hard. And, just like I say all the time, ride the wave in. Just ride it in and enjoy it. Because you're going to be like, was that a dream or what happened? So, I know you are, sweetheart. I know you're ready. And it's all going to come together. It's all going to come together for you. Just keep patient, sweetheart. Because it's going to come in the time that you need it to come and not how you want it to come. Because if it comes too fast, you're going to be on overload. I'll have to see if I can get in touch. What was his name again, sweetheart? Let me see if I can tune into him. Somebody's arm sweating. Let's see. Jason, he was always sweating. Okay, maybe that's why I'm sweating. Is he into motorcycles big time? Yes, we are. Okay, because he showed me a motorcycle. Yeah, he's here. He, like your grandfather, are happy that you got rid of that dude. Jason says he was a bum. He wasn't good enough for you. And he said if he had been here, he would have kicked his ass. Um, he likes the changes that you're making in your life. And he watches you grow day to day to day. And he said on those days that you were sobbing on your bed, he was right there with you. And he felt your pain. And he wishes that he could have just taken it all away from you. Yeah, he would have kicked his ass. He would have kicked his ass. Um, but he said he was there when you were sobbing your eyes out over this loser, as he says. And he always touches your hand. He always touches your left hand. And he says sometimes he knows you can feel the warmth of it when he's touching your hand, like he's like coupling it, putting his hand over yours like this when you're laying there sobbing. Um, he like again he says he likes the path that you are on. Um, he wishes he could be there to experience it in the physical with you. But he wants you to know that he is experiencing it in the spiritual with you. And he's feeling everything that you're feeling, and he's doing the best he can to guide you. He said he's been trying to talk to you, sweetheart. He's been trying to talk to you. He said sometimes he does talk to you and he thinks you hear him, but you just sort of blow it off like, oh no, that can't be him. But it is him. Because you get the ringing, but you also actually hear a voice of him talking to you, but you kind of blow it off like, am I going crazy? No, that can't be him. No. But it is him talking to you. He doesn't like the fact that he left you so early. But he said he was called, therefore he had to go. But he's still here. Honey, sometimes you hear stuff and it sounds like you, but if you listen to what they're saying, it's actually them. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between it because they don't necessarily change their voices. Um, oh yeah, AJ's with them. Those two are together. Yeah, he just wants to know that he's there, and you can listen. He can listen to you, and you can hear him. You just have to let down the walls. Or if you hear him talking and you think it's you, don't brush it off. Just listen to what's being said. Just breathe it in and listen to what it's being said, and you'll be surprised. Yeah, they are. Yeah, he says he loves you. And he said, open yourself up to hearing him because you know how to do it and you can do it, and it's going to be all good. So I hope that helped you, sweetheart. He loves you too. Yes, because he puts his hand over your other hand, like that, your left hand, like this. But it's his left hand.
Miss Karen. What is your pleasure for your reading? Where Karen?
Here's your hand and puts it over.
Whatever comes through. Okay, so my cards have been like weird lately. Just
saying. I'm gonna give you a t-shirt that
I
says
don't like it when it switches like that.
just saying.
It was like when I was on with Thomas, it was doing that. And I'm like, God damn it. It's doing that. So I can't read as fast.
We're gonna have to get you a t-shirt with all your signature names or sayings. Just saying. Stop it. Damn it. That way you can just point to the words you want to say, Cam.
Same thing with hers. Shit.
What,
I must
Dad?
be on a roll tonight or something.
What, did Pop show up again?
Her dad showed up. First card out.
Yeah, Dad always shows up.
Weird. Hold on, Karen. I'm getting them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you something because this is how it's coming in, and I'm just going to say it even though I have no idea what I'm saying, which usually is the best way. So, have you always felt like kind of that you had to be different things for different people? Just like tweaking your how you are around people. Like this person you have to be a firefighter for, this person you have to be mother to, this person you have to be them to. Because, okay, now I've got to figure this part out. Because, like I said, I'm getting weird stuff anymore. So this seems like a past life something or other that you've brought over. So, do you want to read her real quick? And I'm going to try to figure out this whole past life thing.
Yeah. All right, Karen, my love, let's see what we got cooking for you. Here. Girl, you've been doing really, 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 really awesome when it comes to start doing your self-love. You're getting much better at that. You've had kind of a struggle with that at first, but now it's like, you know what? Yeah, I love myself. Yes, I'm good. I'm this. And you're not doing it in vain. You're doing it because you actually can love who Karen is and who as Karen has become. You're getting so much clarity in your gifts, which direction you want to take, how you want to take it. At first, you were kind of, but you've mustered up the courage to let down those walls in order for all this to happen for you. You're also learning how to say yes to change because you weren't a big person for change. You sort of like you liked your structure and your paths, and you know, all right, this is done this day, this is done that day, da 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 da. And now you're able to say, yeah, you know what, this can change a little bit. Yeah, I can do that. You have so much gratitude for where you have come from, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and everything around you. You're also finding a contentment within yourself that you didn't have before because it was always like a struggle. Um, you have also opened up this whole new field of space for you. So you're able to do things that you didn't do before because you've opened the space for you to do this. Yes, she is amazing, Anthony. You're absolutely correct. Um, you're finding that you truly, truly love you. And like I said, it's not in a vain way. It's not in a vain way at all. And you've done your shadow work to find that forgiveness of others and yourself, which was not an easy thing to do because it's not easy for most people. And you've also overcome so many challenges that you needed to do. So everything is lining up universally for you, Karen, and you're walking down the path that you need to walk down, and you're doing it so well. You're doing it so well. And just like I say all the time, ride the wave. Ride it in, girl. And you're doing it, and it's coming, and it's rocking, and enjoy it. Don't fear it. Just go with it. Thank you. And you're welcome.
And you only have trust for certain people. What the hell? Here. Okay, you're female. Weird because I've not got him this early, usually, but 1917 ish, somewhere in there. Okay, how do I put this tactfully?
Oh, Lord.
You weren't a bad person. It's just crazy. So the whole mafia thing. Yeah. I got that flooding in because this is a lot. This is like 1915-ish. It's like the mob thing because it's like you had to protect. You had kids. You had to protect your husband. So you had to say this and be this way. And then your kids, you had to give them this way. And it was weird. I don't know. It's just weird. It feels like the whole protection thing and the people that you trust people to a certain. I know. That's what was weird. That's why I was laughing because I know you're Sicilian. I'm like, this is weird. She was Italian in a past life. So that's the whole thing is I'm getting that you were, this is what's pulling over into this current life here is that whole feeling the need to be the protector and the monarchy type thing, but yet because back then the women weren't in charge, it was the guys that were in charge. So it's kind of like this whole weird role reversal thing. You ran most of it. I mean, you did the protecting. You're the one that knew. You knew all this shit, though. Just, yeah. You knew all the secret shit. When shit was going down, where shipments were coming in, you knew all that stuff. Even though you weren't really supposed to, you did. So, a lot of your organization and stuff like that comes a lot from this because it's like, back then it came second nature to you. I want to say you had 4, maybe 1 daughter, but at least 3 boys. It might have been 4 boys. I'm not sure. But there were 4 children there. And it was like you checked on the husband and you checked on all 4 kids without them even knowing you were checking in on them. And you had people watching when they didn't know people were watching. And if somebody crossed one of your kids, you had it taken care of type thing. Not kill them, but they didn't mess with your kids again type of thing. You liked your luxury. Like the big hotels and that whole thing from the 1920s, 1915s, all of that stuff. So that's where I get a lot of this whole protection thing coming in. It's not necessary. That's why it kind of clashes a little bit with this lifetime. It's because you're pulling in so much of that whole protection thing and that whole everybody has to be saved and everybody has to, well, that's in your circle anyway. They all have to be protected. They all have to be saved. And you can't, even though you don't agree with some things, you just kind of done something like that. It's like that weird thing, even though you didn't agree with it, you protected it. So even if it was shady, you protected it because if not, then it would have affected your family and you can't have that happen. And it's just like back and forth. But you like you didn't want to live in a house. You lived in like one of the hotel, what are they called in the hotels? Penthouses?
Yes.
That you can like buy them or something like that.
A penthouse.
Yeah. It's like you live in a pen. You didn't want like the house thing. At this lifetime, you didn't. It's like you had to be in the center of all what was going on. So I just see that as that's what just kind of there's still cords attached to that. And that whole maternal instinct that you have, that's why it comes raging through like it does. And it's not just this lifetime, it's being amplified because you're bringing it back in from the other lifetime as well. So some of that stuff, that's kind of why. So I think what the whole point of this is some of those cords that past life have to be severed so you can move forward in this life more, because you're carrying way too much maternal instinct for this lifetime. Does that even make sense? So it's like you just have to, I don't know why, it's just that whole thing of like, it was like a do or die thing. It wasn't like just a passive being very motherly type of thing. It was like a life or death. It's like if you got caught, if your husband got caught, you were dead meat. If your kids got caught, it wasn't good. And yeah, so that's what I got for you. Sorry, that was weird.
I can see her owning the whole top as the penthouse, so she can see every north, south, east, and west, and she can just walk by these big, humongous windows and go,
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like when you walk in the lobby, it's just like something out of Vegas. It's just like in your face.
Yeah.
And that's where she did her thing. That's back in the day, though. Interesting.
Yeah, you did. I could see her running that family. So do you feel Chicago or New York? Yep. Oh, New York. Yep.
You know, I didn't even ask because I saw the mafia thing and I just assumed.
You said New York? I'm feeling like she was friends with Capone. Family?
I'm thinking New York. I think they did go to Chicago. I think they had a place in Chicago.
Yeah, because she hung out with Capone.
It was like a big family. It wasn't like.
Did you and Al get it on? I can see Karen being a really crazy great.
No, she was. Here's how it was kind of looking when I saw it. It was like she played dumb on purpose. She ran it, but she played dumb, so he would get all the credit or whatever, but she'd go like behind his back.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
That's how come she knew about what everybody was doing. Is she would just be like, I'm just a ditzy blonde. I don't know. I just bake all day.
Thank you, Wendy.
That was cool. Well, it was.
No, they didn't. And they still don't. I'm not sure. Karen, is your father Anthony's grandfather? Oops. Oh, okay. Because you said he was your nephew, so I was just wondering if your father was his grandfather. Stop, we're getting an ice storm blizzard again on Wednesday. What's the weather for you on Wednesday, Cam?
I think it's 50s. Yeah, it's going to be now 48.
There she is.
Tanya's labels. Oh, tonight. Yes. Everybody do their full moon stuff tonight. New beginnings.
Hey, Karen.
Are you baking today, Karen? It's a new moon. Did I say full moon? It's a new moon, sorry.
Would you guys stop with the food, please?
So here's Karen Gross. She cooks the best shit ever. She used to watch Andy and I while she's baking. She'd tell us all the stuff she's making. Whoa.
Oh,
She'd be cooking some stuff.
That's my stupid computer, Wendy. Those are people sending me friend requests, believe it or not. All right, we got 10 peeps on. Come on, guys, say something. Let's talk about something else but food.
It's delicious.
But you don't like food.
I know. I can still say it's delicious, though.
I've never sat and watched that.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? It was just complicated.
I am complicated.
I don't think so much. To understand you is to love you, Cambo.
Oh, dear.
What do you mean, oh dear? Eleven peeps. 11 peeps. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Absolutely, Karen. Carolyn. Is she talking about Poltergeist, Carolyn?
Yes.
But why? Good to see you too, Karen. Have a good night.
She's awesome. She's in Australia too.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice when there's Aussies in the house. Elizabeth, what kind of reading did you want?
Oops. Oh,
And
oh. All right, Missy. So the healing cycle that you're in is at the downward spiral of it. So you're just about over this healing cycle that you're kind of in. I do get the death card with you. So the death is something old, birth is something new. Normally it's like 3 months. One thing with you be very careful on what you. Okay, let me back up. Just understand that you're manifesting 24/7. You're always manifesting. Everybody's manifesting. Be very careful not to confuse the shit out of the universe, or it's just going to come in weird. There's still, like, I get your Seven of Wands reversed. So with my Seven of Wands reversed, that means that you're standing your ground for things that no longer matter. There's still somewhere inside that you're just still holding on to, like pain and stuff like that. And it's just time to let it go. And it's hard to let it go because if you let it go, then you'll think that they've won. And the reality is they wouldn't have. If you let go of the pain, essentially you win. And that's pretty much how it is. Although when you're actually going through the feeling of it, if you let go of the pain, it feels like they've won. So understand the reality of it is if you can let it go, that you are actually the winner. Okay? Right now you're in a part of your life path where you're really starting to see the core of who you are, what you're really made of, and who you really are inside. Don't let the past keep sneaking in. Be very meticulous with how you want your life to be, and when you're manifesting for it, write it down and don't make sure that's exactly what you want. Because if you change your mind and change your mind and change your mind, the universe is going to be like, just shit, throw everything at her. See if something sticks. It tends to be like a 5-card pile. And I did get the Lover's card, so I do see relationship within the next 3 months. Well, we've already talked about that part of it. Anyway, get out of the black and white thinking. Okay, go outside the comfort zone a little bit. Don't be so black and white with things. All success or all failure. If this happens, then it'll be all success. If it doesn't happen, this will be all failure. There's nothing very rarely is anything absolutely black and white. But you do have this new life path covered with the Lover's card. So, I mean, this is all new stuff moving forward. But you can't get your Ace of Coins, which is a new foundation, until you can release these things from the past. Okay, so that is going to be detrimental for you. Make the stuff that you're hurting from, just do your best to make it. Let it go. I wonder if it's the new guy. You're putting too much energy into relationships, sweetie. It doesn't, just let it happen. You're trying to orchestrate how a relationship and how things are going to play out, and it's not. Yeah, it's weird. Just let it play out how it plays out. Okay.
Sweetie Pie, I see that you're putting in the work and you're trying to have a healthy attitude towards something. And I think toward, well, I shouldn't say something, toward what you're working towards. You have great intentions, but you got to let go of this feeling of, oh, am I enough? I don't know if I'm enough. Because you pump yourself up real good on the outside, but in the inside, it's like, am I enough? Am I enough? So, and you have a little bit of a thing with getting older and not having that perfect relationship that you've been looking for. You need to put in your intentions on why you want a relationship, how you want this relationship, and stop being so impatient. Because when you're impatient, we tend to just grab onto someone, and say, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then we look at this much good when there's this much bad, and it's like, oh, why did I do this? As Cambo said, you have to learn how to forgive. Let go of all that stuff and forgive. And it's going to give you such an empowerment that you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is great. Yes, patience is a virtue, but I always say I'm not a doctor. That's why I don't have patience, because I'm really bad with patience. You're finding a newfound independence that you never even thought you could have. And this is bringing you to where you can be true to yourself and you can have that true love for yourself. And just keep walking down this path, girl, because you got it. And you got money coming your way. You're going to find a calmness. You got this. It's just, it's those little things that women especially have trouble with, wanting to mother, wanting that special guy to live with and have a great relationship with. I mean, some guys have, but they don't show their emotions like women do, But stay on this path because you're becoming healthy spiritually within your mind and you're growing a lot. You're doing it. I'm proud of you. Keep going, girl. Keep going. We'll both work on our impatience. Shut up, really? Happy anniversary.
Yay, Karen.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
That's awesome.
Good. Let's see. I think 44 years of marriage. Wow. If you had all my marriages together, it came up to 18. How many times have you been married, Cam?
Just once.
Just once?
Relationships, 14.
14 relationships?
15. 15.
Okay, Linda donated and she wants to say mediumship and past life, maybe, or spirit just wants to do something else.
Her and her past lives. I've just got a link into your stuff here.
Well, thank you, Karen. While you're doing, can I ask Linda a question? Yeah.
Huh?
While you're doing that, can I ask Linda a question?
Yeah.
And Linda, I have an uncle coming through. He was very, very, very unique. And he was really intelligent, but he played dumb. He didn't like to let on that he was so intelligent. But he was like brilliant. And he was tuned into who he was. Big time. He's, you know, and it's like when I think about the person he was, don't take offense to this, but he sort of reminded me of Uncle Fester from the Addams Family, because he was very intelligent, yet he was kind of quirky and different, and he was totally in tune with his differences, and he accepted who he was. Does that make sense to you? Because he's been riding a lot of waves with you. Yeah, and it totally rocked it. He didn't care what people thought of him. He's saying mysteriously. Come on. He's saying that he had a medical emergency. He had a medical emergency, and that caused an accident. I'm hearing a fall. He's telling me a fall. He had a medical emergency that caused a fall. He says he doesn't like to talk about it because it took him away too soon. But he is digging. Oh wow. Oh wow. So that's where the fall comes in from. That's crazy. But he's not pleased that he left so soon. But he's enjoying these cosmic trips you take because he's with you a lot of the times. And he loves it. He loves traveling with you. And he says sometimes you don't have enough protection, but he's there helping to protect you. Yeah. He said you and he were like this because you understood each other and you could have those conversations and you didn't look at each other sideways. Um, while he was trying to get out of that window, Linda, he did have a medical emergency. Yeah, he says sometimes though there's a little you don't completely you get so excited you completely forget about it. But you're always protected, but not to the level that he would like you protected. So he rides with you as a protection because he's like a guide for you because he doesn't like the idea that sometimes you get so pumped up about what you're doing that you just I'm going here, I'm excited. And you forget to put some of that armor on. It's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's just you get excited and you get ahead of yourself sometimes. So he's just there to help add that extra protection. He's because you go to some serious places, places that you can't even talk about because people just won't believe you. He's digging everything you're doing with the babies. He's so proud of you as a mama. Um, he says he has conversations with Ethan all the time because Ethan just taps into him. Um, no, you can't. You can't talk about. But your uncle knows. He knows, and he's been in some of those places with you. He says, "Keep flying high, my beautiful niece, because I'll be riding right by your side." Yeah, he loves the hell out of you, girl. He loves the hell out of you. He's a, he said he's ready to buckle up and go for the next ride. He's funny. Cool, Albert. He's funny. He's funny. So I hope that helped and resonated for you, sweetheart. Who decides our guides, Cambo? That's a question I can't answer.
Who decides what? I'm sorry.
Our guides.
We do.
Oh, we do.
When you reincarnate, you have a contract with your guide. Because they're the ones that help you decide what you're going to be going through and all that stuff. It's kind of weird.
So how did I end up with Jerome?
You got drunk.
I don't know how I ended up with Jerome.
No, you have to make a contract because it's all free willed.
Well, I mean, Jerome, I don't have a problem with Jerome, but it's like kind of weird.
I mean, you could ask for, as I understand it, you can ask if you want somebody to be your guide, and they can say yes or no to it. But after the contract's done, it's done.
Well, I'm happy with Jerome. He comes through when I really need him.
Linda, I don't know where you get half the stuff you get in your lives. I'm just saying, come up with some. I have to search for you to find out where you're living half the time. So you were male, Poland, 16, 30-ish, 25, 30-ish. You, my dear, were a monk. You're a monkey.
A monkey.
And what I really get with yours is a lot of, see, this is kind of what's weird with this kind of stuff, is because it kind of matches how you kind of are today. Is I get you as like being like doing transcribing things. You know how the monks wrote the Bible by hand or whatever, or from one language to another. It kind of feels like you did a lot of that. But what's weird is what really stands out to me in this lifetime is that you knew some of it was not translated right, and you kind of did the whole no, that's not what it says. And they're like, mind your own business and just write it. Which is so you anyway. Because you're very much into the truth and that sort of thing. But I don't know where this even came down from. But you were supposed to translate different parts of it. You're supposed to translate in a different way, or it was translated wrong or something, and you knew it, but everybody knew it, but they just did what the uppers told them to do, whoever was up along with them. So some of this transcribing and stuff, you already know. That's why you can, yeah, you don't like lies like that. But I really feel like you did a lot of that there's a lot of war going on around in Poland. Lot of war. It's like continually, it's like you'd have 2 or 3 years of peace and then it would be war again, and 2 or 3 years of peace and then it would be war again. So some of that whole jumpy, like anxiety, I get you with anxiety. Good night, Karen.
Good night, sweetheart.
So some of this anxiety that I feel that you kind of bring over a little bit even is from this life as well, because it's always been chaotic. Always, like outside. Like, you were just good being in the whole monastery thing, because then you didn't have to deal with any of this. You did go and help people like in the hospitals and that sort of thing. You've been doing that in a lot of your past lives, so that's what's weird, because you definitely are a healer. But you would go and do the whole making sure everybody was okay. It feels like you wrote some people's stories down, even, because you felt like their history would be lost if you didn't. Because this was Poland went from being one of the Europe's biggest nations to being wiped off the map like 3 times due to war. Yeah, it's like it disappeared off the maps like 3 or 4 different times. And then it came back. So it's just like massive war around you. And I get where some of these past lives, I think, is compounded. The anxiety gets compounded from one life. Like I remember one with yours, and we talked about that. Was the concentration camps, and that with you, and now this. So it's like you're always about, I don't know, every lifetime. I don't see huge things in your lifetimes when I generally read you, but they're very substantial. They're not like a bunch of different things, but they're like one thing that you master each lifetime. So it's not like you do 3 or 4 things and kind of do it, kind of don't. You really super master it. And then you go on to the next life, and then you go on to the next life. So, I mean, and I know how you are with your sacred spaces too. So, see, this would be just like that. Because a lot of times when the monks did their whole transcribing and stuff, they were in like dark rooms with candles lit or whatever. And that's all they do all day long is they do it, but they'd be in their little sacred space when they did it. But you got in trouble because you were running your mouth about how the church was lying. That was a no-no. You got put in solitary for that a couple of times. So is that making sense? I think that's really cool, though. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know. You and Wendy were spies. That was wild.
I could see them running to the Mission Impossible theme song. Don't forget the word programming. Oh, is it that time, Cam?
Yeah.
Becky needs his medicine, right?
Yeah, he should an hour ago, but that's all right. I'll get it for him. I could have walked him outside a bit. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be on tomorrow.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah.
Love you much. Have an amazing night. Mwah.
See you guys later.